first presentation of the evening, it will be gesture, which I'll go ahead and play the 5-minute gesture video. And again, after that, we'll do the Q&A. So I'm going to go ahead and play that presentation to get us started.
Hi, my name is Ben, and I'm excited to share more about why thousands of consumer B2B and enterprise customers have already used Gesture's advanced gifting technology to send things such as flowers, wine, champagne, and even custom gifts to anyone located anywhere using nothing more than a mobile phone number or an email address. This has created new and exciting and reshaped experiences for the sender and the recipient when it comes to gifting. This is also changing the gifting industry for the better. Talking a little bit more about the problem. We all know it's a hassle to hunt down someone's address or even to ask them for their personal address if we want to send them something. Lots of people are working from home and they don't want to give out that info. Why should they have to? Also, there's a good chance that if you're using the current gifting platforms that are out there to send flowers or things along those lines, you're using archaic technology. It's very complicated. You spend hours and hours looking for the right type of product or type of flower just to find out that it either didn't get delivered, it's not what was pictured, and it's just a very, very bad experience. You have no delivery control, no outcome, no transparency amongst the delivery after the gift is sent. And on top of that, it's disappointing for the recipient, embarrassing for the sender, hence why a lot of these platforms average about 2.5 stars across multiple review sites. Until now, Gesture is a solution. Gesture is a new and simple and fun to use gifting platform built for consumers and B2B users. We even created a merchant platform allowing plant shops, flower shops, liquor stores to use our logistics technology to offer delivery solutions to their customer. Talk a little bit more about that here in a second. As mentioned, the mobile solution is built mainly for millennials, Gen Z, and Gen X users. It's fun, 3-step process from time to order to checkout. Very easy to use, very fun to use. Everyone's in control, sender, recipient. We have given them back that opportunity to essentially just have more say-so over the process. And all of this is powered by something called SmartSend. It's a proprietary technology that we essentially created, and it's powered by something called Nina, which is a no information needed algorithm. Makes gifting easier than sending a Venmo or even a Cash App for any type of customer. Really cool. Now, we're on our way to becoming the #1 gifting platform. Yes, we want 100% market share. We launched early 2019, got into about 5 cities, and raised about $1 million in capital. Pandemic hit, we had to go into fight or fight. We chose to fight. We created new technologies, we connected with our customers, we grew more than 1,500% year over year, and we essentially launched the B2B platform outside of the pandemic. And most notably, we launched the Gesture 3.0, which was with SmartSend technology, which essentially has changed the game. This garnered a lot of attention from different types of customers and companies, and so much so that we had one publicly traded multi-billion-dollar company make us an offer for acquisition, and we passed on that, knowing that we're confident in the type of technology that we designed, as they saw that as well. So, as mentioned, the consumer app, really fun to use. I encourage you to download it, iOS or Android, it's where it's available. Different type of experience, very social, very personal, really fun to use. We control the logistics side as well, just like Uber. They have a consumer and a driver app, as we do. We have a courier app, which we have over 600 G runners, couriers on our network delivering. Our business model is super simple. We have a consumer, B2B, and a merchant delivery platform. We make money by people spending on an average of $55 on the consumer, $20,000 on the corporate side, and about $25 on the merchant side, averaging about a 40 to 60% margin. We've created new technology, social gifting handle, which is basically called the G handle. It allows people to essentially create a handle on Gesture and give that to friends and family, and that's how they're able to receive different types of gifts. This is big amongst influencers and celebrities and creators. So much so is that we had an influencer or even a creator here by the name of Morgan who took her Gesture handle, put it onto her actual TikTok account, and within minutes, she had thousands of gifts sent to her. There was thousands of gifts that were sent to the platform based on the fact that she has more than 5.5 million followers. Very big. So many different use cases for G handles. And again, we are the only company with this type of technology. Customers range from Gen Y, Gen Z, Gen X market, all the way to large B2B companies or corporate enterprise companies like Comcast, Keller Williams, Match. Gesture is big within the dating sites as well. Indirect competitors, DoorDash, direct competitors, 1-800, Loop and Tie, based on the B2B side. We have a different type of competitor approach, clear strategy, relentless execution, and we do our due diligence of data. We have the right team to scale this, very confident in that. Myself with B School, 2 technical co-founders, and 2 individuals on the C-suite with more than 20 plus years of corporate experience with big companies like 3M and BlackRock. Lastly, we are looking for about a $2.5 million seed round. And on top of that, we've raised more than $1 million of that. And we have about another 600 to go based on what's already been committed. These are some of our notable investors, not all. We've raised from both VCs and angels, and we've raised on all safes. Future round, currently right now, in terms of, or the future roadmap, I should say, is based on, I do believe that in 2023, likely exit acquisition, that company will be back. I'm almost confident with that, not overly optimistic, but really just know what we have. With that, we'll go into a Series A. By 2024, I do see a Series B. And then by 2026, we can be at more than $1 billion in revenue, in which allowing us to exit by 2027 if we haven't been purchased by then. So $1 million gets us about 24 months of runway. So we have a low burn and very resourceful. We're not a capital intensive business based on the fact that we're considered a service platform. So lots of opportunity, looking for the right investor. Thank you so much. Please feel free to download the app. Take care.
All right, so I have Ben and Jesse. Ben, your mic's on. You're good. Jesse, you can turn on your question and ask the first question. And while Jesse's doing that, the other judges, please do raise your hands in the bottom right if you'd also like to ask Ben a question. Jesse, floor is yours.
Thanks, Jason. Hey, Ben, good to catch up again. So, first question: what was the multiple on your acquisition offer based on your revenue?
Yeah, so because we're still under pretty close NDA, I can say that based on the best way to put it is we were looking at about a 5x multiple based on what we were raising off of, in a safe that went from between 5 and 10 mil valuation. So it wasn't too bad, and that was both in cash and stock.
Cool. And what's your current ARR and what's your current valuation?
Yeah, so right now we could say that we're pretty comfortable right around 45 million. And as of 2021 was 2.1 million. So not too bad. We're on track based on some of the things that are in our pipeline. I'm actually in LA as we speak to come out and trying to close a deal with some of the biggest TikTok influencers and Instagram influencers that, if this goes through, that put us at about 25 to 30 million this year.
Awesome. And what's the breakdown between the business side of the app and the consumer side of the app in terms of revenue?
Yeah, so I would say the best way to put it is it's probably about a 45-55 mix, 45 consumer, 55 business on what we're looking at. And I can probably say that after this goes through, it's probably going to flip-flop pretty strongly more towards going towards the consumer versus the business side, just simply based on the opportunities that we have in the pipeline.
Sounds good. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Jesse. All right, next up, Michael Lombardi. Michael, go ahead. Your mic is on, and after that, it'll be Grant. Go ahead, Michael.
Hey, Ben. Great presentation. Curious in terms of scaling geographically. What you mentioned, 5 cities you're live in. Curious what it takes to open up a new city. How much of the kind of gift supply on the app is national versus local? So just kind of curious what it takes to open up a new city.
Yeah, so that's a great question. When I actually recorded that, there's a kind of a long story behind that, but we're now delivering in every city in the U.S. We basically launched some new technology that not too long ago and had been testing it out, and now we have the ability where we just sort of removed the delivery barrier, where we were only able to launch in like 5, 10, maybe 15 cities at the time. And now we went to sort of a 60-40 type of delivery model where 60% of our stuff is delivered using our runners. And in the places that we can deliver, we essentially go to a shipping model, much like anything else. So we've essentially removed every barrier there was to make money. So now we can deliver in 100 plus cities.
Very cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Great questions, Michael. Grant, go ahead. And after that, we'll bring David on. Grant, you should be able to turn on your mic in the top right. There should be an icon.
Should be working.
Yep,
working
Grant,
now?
you're on. You're on.
I turned it
You're
on.
good.
Just had a delay.
You're in.
Great to meet you. Nice presentation. I'll be really quick. I'm sorry if I missed this in the presentation, but what are your margins on a delivery? How much money are you bringing back when you're selling a gift to someone?
Yeah, so on the consumer side, it'd be anywhere between about 15 and maybe 18% on the consumer. And on the business, it's a little bit higher. It range anywhere between 40 and 50%. Just because gifts are more expensive, margins are a lot better. On the consumer side, we rely more on volume. We're more at the mercy of, because we don't inventory anything. So because of that, we are just kind of left at the mercy of more of the vendor side versus just picking it up and dropping it off. So, we kind of market for that. One of the things that we are going after is trying to become our own sort of supplier, which is pros and cons of that, and margins improve drastically. But right now, we don't want to kind of mess up what's not broken.
Makes sense. Thanks.
Yeah.
Awesome. Final question, David. You should be able to turn on your mic now. It should be in the top right. David, look in the top right. There should be a mic icon, and if you click it, yep, you're on, David. Go ahead.
Oh, no, awesome, great. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. And I do apologize, of course,
You're good.
My computer decided it wanted to reboot, so I missed about
no worries.
5 seconds of it. So I just 2 questions real quick. Cost of customer acquisition, what are those currently tracking either as a percentage or a raw number? And then curious on the retention statistics, like how sticky are these clients?
Yeah, super sticky. So great questions. Love those. We're at about a 60% reorder rate. And, we're not just like a gifting platform that you would think of, 1-800-BOOKS. One of the reasons is we have created something that's more generalized, and almost just the fact that if you think of gifting the same way you think of a sort of, I need a car, you can think of Uber. So super sticky in that perspective. And that basically explains the 60% reorder rate. But on top of that, we've lowered our customer acquisition costs and even increased our customer lifetime value quite a bit. And the reason being is with the new tech that we just rolled out probably about 4 or 5 months ago, we basically now require when someone sends a gift and the recipient receives it, the recipient has to register to the platform in order for them to receive their gift. So we basically have cut our customer acquisition costs in half. So if it was costing us at one point, $9 to acquire a customer, it's now costing us $4.50 because we get 2 customers for the price of 1. And just recently, we rolled out a very specific type of big push that is in return getting the recipients to reorder almost immediately based on some of the tech that we're essentially utilizing. So once it's almost like we can't kind of gamified the whole process, and it's kind of gone to more of that type of process. So it's pretty cool. I mean, we have people that send roses once a week just because of the price point, and then essentially the experience they get. So it's turned into a really cool concept.
Awesome. Great. Thanks so much.
Good question, David. Ben, awesome job, man. Good luck in your meetings in LA, and we appreciate you taking the time, Ben. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Take care.
All right. Between the pitches, again, I want to basically have some of the investors come up and our other partners and just kind of give a quick background on themselves. It's 30-second, 1 minute. So I'm going to bring on Victoria Mehran from Expert Dojo and Kelly Caviglia from Bridge Bank. So if either of you are able to turn on your mics in the top right, you should have access now. Again, we'd love to hear just a quick 30-second, 1 minute on your backgrounds and all that fun stuff. So you should have access to your mics now. Yep. Kelly, you're on. Kelly, if you want to lead off.
Okay, perfect. Hi, everybody. This is Kelly Caviglia with Bridge Bank. My background is tech banking for about a decade. I have also taken time out of banking to go work for a startup myself, from first client all the way through acquisition. So very familiar with, where you guys are at in the process. And, it is not for the faint of heart. I went back to banking. So, I definitely praise you guys for what you're working on. I head up Bridge Bank's startup banking practice, meaning I work a lot with early stage founders, helping them scale their businesses, and getting to the point where, you guys have raised some money, and then we can step in and also help out with venture debt and any financing needs you might have down the line. We have offices across the U.S. We're headquartered in Silicon Valley, and I'm based in Austin, Texas.
Awesome. Thank you, Kelly, and shout out for sponsoring tonight. We really appreciate the support. Thank you, Kelly. All right, Victoria, go for it. I think your mic was, yep, you're good, Victoria, go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. This is Victoria Mehran. I'm a venture partner at Expert Dojo. We are the biggest international accelerator fund based in Southern California. We invest in early stage companies in seed and late seed as well. We invest over 80 companies per year. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs that they are seasoned and they're already established, and there is the projection of the revenue for them is important to become a unicorn in less than 10 years. And happy to be here, and looking forward to answer any questions you might have.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Victoria. Really appreciate you. Thank you. All right. So next up, we have Drew Fabricant from Scout. So again, same spiel. I'm going to go ahead and play the video for 5 minutes, and then we're going to do the Q&A. So I will play the Scout pitch now.
Hi, my name is Drew Fabricant, and I'm the CEO of Scout, and we help small businesses find, engage, and convert their ideal local customers. In the last 6 months, we've had over 100 customers paying $350 a month to use our service. It got so overwhelming that we started the wait list, and we now have over 500 people on the wait list. We converted that wait list to paid, and there are over 50 people who have paid just to be on the wait list. And we are now negotiating pilots with companies that would put Scout in the hands of over 77,000 salespeople nationwide. And that is because there is a massive gap in a $300 billion market for what Scout is able to do. So what is it that Scout does? Well, we make it incredibly simple for local businesses like real estate agents, home service providers like plumbers, even auto dealers, to launch incredibly effective customer engagement campaigns with just the click of a button. And I just want to show you a quick demo of how it works.
This is a shakedown. Order up that beat just like a takeout. Show me you got soul inside those new shoes, and you can rock and roll with an attitude. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. You're the new MC, you got the remix. Keep it on repeat, just let the beat kick. Everywhere you go, you bring the roof down. Everybody knows you got your own sound. So good, so fresh, just the way you like it. Just the way you like it. Feet, this is a shakedown.
While this may seem quite simple, like something HubSpot or MailChimp could do, if you've ever actually tried it, you know how frustrating it is to build something like this, and how much harder it is to manage on a monthly basis. So Scout is the only company in this space that caters specifically to small businesses and takes an industry-specific approach that gives users the closest thing to a done-for-you solution. That way we can gain industry expertise and create a very, very deep moat. So the results here have been astonishing. We've had users tell us that they've saved over 20 hours each week researching and drafting emails. They've told us that they've seen commission checks as large as $20,000 after using Scout for just a month. We've had users completely ditch their reliance on things like direct mail, cold calling, even Google or Facebook, just to focus on Scout. And our customers are doing this because they're seeing up to 19% engagement rates versus industry averages of 0.03% for things like direct mail, which means that Scout ends up being almost 90% more effective and half the cost of what they're paying for other marketing channels. And it actually doesn't just end at our customers. We literally have had recipients of Scout campaigns beg our customers to introduce them when they receive them. And that's how we know how effective this really can be. So there is tremendous demand in the market for a platform like Scout. And the fact that we haven't spent $1 on marketing really proves that. But what's more important is that Scout's email prospecting solution is just the wedge that drives us into each market. Right now, we're gathering data and we're setting the stage to build a multi-channel sales platform that will personalize every single touch point in the entire sales funnel and create a better customer experience, driving the bottom line for local businesses when it comes to sales. Before Scout, our team generated leads and trained over 3,500 salespeople. We know how to engage and convert new leads and old leads. We've worked to build some of the largest B2B marketing platforms in the entire world. Most importantly, we have raving loyal fans. I'm not going to read the first one, but I'll read the third. This one is from Harlan. He's in Texas, and he's been in sales for 20 plus years. I've knocked on doors, I've cold calls, I've done snail mail. This was amazing. Now, the hard part is going to be keeping it a secret. So to recap, Scout is helping small local businesses find, engage, and convert their ideal customers. We've had over 500 people on our wait list, paying $350 a month. These are sales qualified. We've negotiated, or we are negotiating pilots with companies that would put Scout in the hands of over 70,000 of their sales force. We're saving customers over 16 hours a week, and we've had customers report over 50x ROI on what they've spent on Scout. This current round is being anchored by Jason Calacanis, and it's set to close at the end of May. And this has been our presentation on Scout. Thank you very much. My name is Drew Fabricant.
All right, great job, Drew. Judges, please raise your hands via the icon on the bottom right if you have questions. Public, again, you can ask a question in the chat and I can read it on your behalf. Drew, you should be able to turn your mic and, oh, Lauren's good, okay. Judges, any questions for Drew? Oh, there we go. I see a bunch just rolled in. All right, maybe it's just being glitchy. So, all right, I see Adam, Jesse, Michael, Grant. Okay, so I'm going to start off by getting Adam on the stage. And Drew, are you able to turn on your mic on your end? I see you're on stage, but I don't see your mic on. Try the top right, Drew. Yep.
I should be.
You're on, Drew. You're on, Drew. Yep. And Adam, do the same in the top right. You should be able to engage your mic. Oh, let me throw Jesse on while Adam's figuring that out, because I think Jesse already did it. Oh, Adam, you're on. Go ahead, Adam.
Great. Yeah, can you comment a bit about competition, please? Thanks.
Yeah, sure. There's really not a lot of competition in this space. Most platforms out there are kind of indirect competitors. They can cater to like one of the three pillars. It's either putting lists together, copy, or actually sending the emails. That would fall into kind of like the CRM and email marketing space. But together, there's really nobody out there that's catering to small local businesses. Certainly nobody that's providing an end-to-end or as close to as to done for you as possible. Wish I had a better answer to that one.
All right, Adam. Adam, anything else, or should we jump to Jesse?
That's all. Thanks.
You got it. All right, Jesse, go ahead.
Thanks, Jason. Drew, good to speak to you again. So just a couple questions. When's the product going to be ready, and how much are you having people pay for the Waitlist access.
Yeah, great question. So we've been building this out. We've been throwing a lot of engineering power behind it. We're targeting 4 to 6 weeks at this point. We've got an entire demo that I'm happy to take anybody through, show them the front end, back end functionality of it. But we're still about 4 to 6 weeks from actually launching. Right now, we're servicing people kind of semi-manually, just using our back end. They're putting tremendous faith in us. They're giving us kind of full unfettered access to their email accounts and letting us just go to town. And what was the second question, Jesse?
How much are you having people pay for waitlist access?
Right. So we're having people pay anywhere from $50 to $200. We've found that we're letting people reserve zip codes. So if you want to market to a specific zip code, it's $50 per zip code, and we've had people purchase up to 6 zip codes individually. So I guess that would be $300. We have a couple of larger organizations that are looking to purchase something like 300-400 zip codes for exclusivity for their entire brokerage. We're negotiating those right now. And then in order to be actually serviced on the platform, we're having them pay 3 months up front. So it's a $1,050 minimum to get started.
Great. Thank you.
Awesome. Next, Michael Lombardi. Go for it.
Yeah, great. Another great presentation. Curious how you've gotten the 500 or so folks on the wait list. So what was any sort of launch campaign, or how did you get those folks on the wait list? And then how are you thinking about awareness? And if there isn't really a lot of kind of specific competitors in the market, educating small to medium-sized businesses to actually spend on something like this. Clearly, the ROI is evident, but getting those folks aware that there's a solution and kind of convincing them that you can solve it.
Yeah, another great question. So go-to-market has been a lot of fun. We've actually built a community around this. So we have about 4,000 people in a Facebook group that just talk about marketing, sales automation. And what we do is we host a webinar every Friday, and we'll invite people to that webinar. And some of those webinars have had like 100% conversion. So yes, it is a bit of an educational piece for a small local business. We're building this for mom and pop, people who, there's a little bit of truth in every just kidding when they said, oh, like I just learned how to put on my computer last month. So we need to teach them that email marketing and email outreach actually is something that they can do. But once they're able to wrap their head around it, which is, we've found to be pretty simple, we're able to convert them after about a 45-minute webinar. And in terms of getting people into that top of funnel, we eat our own dog food. So we've built our own internal prospecting platform that hyper targets small businesses. We get them on the phone with internal SDRs. We tell them about the community, the free resources that are available in that Facebook group. They jump in there. That's where a lot of these small local businesses actually live, is on Facebook. And then eventually they see testimonials in the community and they convert.
Very cool. The webinar strategy is brilliant. Great.
Awesome. All right, we only have time for one more. So Grant, if you could wrap up for this one, and then if there's any additional questions, you can leave them for Drew in the chat. But go ahead, Grant.
Sure. Great to meet you. Where do you see this company in 3 years? If you kind of project yourself into the future
here. I think this is going to be absolutely massive. If we hit our target projections, we're going to be doing easily 40 million ARR in the next 3 to 4 years. With the way that our B2B relationships are going, I think we'll be able to take over at least real estate, finance, and auto. Those are our 3 beachhead markets. That's where I'd like to be kind of in the next 3, with a lot of the AI being trained around really just customer engagement, so that we're giving smart prompts to our customers. Susie said this, so you should suggest that. And having kind of a fully integrated end-to-end marketing platform that handles their direct mail, it handles their text engagement, their coupons, their marketing, their outreach. Really just a kind of dumbed down, done for you Salesforce for small local business.
Thanks.
Awesome. Great job, Drew. Really appreciate you. Great presentation, great questions all around.
Thanks, Jason. Thanks, everyone.
You got it. You got it. Okay. Between this and the next pitch, I want to have Karishma Kapoor from FT Partners. I'm going to bring you on stage in just a second, and then I just want to have Moshe Newman from Valued Ventures. So I'm going to put you both on stage, and whoever's able to turn on their mic could give us their 30-second, 1-minute background. Both of you should be able to turn on your mics in the top right now.
Should I go first?
Moshe, you're on. Go ahead, Moshe.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Jason, for hosting. Moshe Newman from Brooklyn, New York. I'm involved in 10 years in technology, building companies and helping companies. Been involved so far around 50 companies, from investing and helping investors and raise tens of millions of dollars. One of my success companies is SoCure. It's already almost a $10 billion. I basically help them make payroll in the early days. So we do a deal every month. Could be a check size from $25K to $1 million, my own check, and then I could bring in my own groups. And a sweet spot is early on, could be the first check to pre-IPO and Plans of Opportunity and else and off. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Moshe. Appreciate you. Karishma, are you able to turn on your mic? Is it available on the top right? We'll give you another minute. If not, we could just circle back between the next pitch. No? Okay. So yeah, Karishma, we'll just come back to you during one of the other pitches, okay? After the next pitch. All right. So next up, we have Aaron Modern from AGOGIE. Again, I'm going to go ahead and play this, and then we'll go into the Q&A.
Hi, my name is Aaron Modern, founder and CEO of AGOGIE. And at AGOGIE, our mission is to improve human health through resistance apparel. What is resistance apparel? Resistance apparel is products that have resistance bands built in, providing health benefits simply by wearing the product. Our first product is a pant. The pant has 8 resistance bands built in, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. When you stretch them out by putting them on, this activates your lower core, your lower back, your hip flexors, and all the muscles in your legs simply by wearing the product. And the great thing about doing this is, from preliminary testing, we have seen increased fat burning, increased calorie burn, increased muscle activity, and increased cardio fitness, among many other things that our consumers have told us that they've benefited from. And they're comfortable to wear all day, which is a very key point. We're smack dab inside the $428 billion combined athleisure and performance sportswear markets. Our business model currently is selling our pants for $129 with a 76% gross margin, which is a crazy great margin. We're acquiring customers currently for around $40. Our current lifetime value is $258, and this can be increased. And our return on investment is at 6.45. Currently, we create revenue through social and search ads, influencers, public relations. We've been on these great shows and websites, affiliates, and drop shipping. We started in 2016 with some very minor sales, grew up to 2020 with 1.3 million, and then last year in 2021 we did 5.6 million in gross revenue. Year to date, we've done 1.5 million, and we're on our pathway to do our $10 million this year, which puts us in perspective to hitting our $420 million 2024 plan. And we're going to accomplish this in several different ways. One, we're adding new product to our mix. We started with black pants. We have color pants that are dropping on April 17th. We have resistance shirts and resistance sleeves in development. This will add to our consumers' lifetime value. We've also increased sales through incremental sales like non-resistance apparel, your typical sweatshirt, shirt, hat, and what the like, and accessories. The great thing about this is we do not inventory this, and these are one-off prints as a customer orders through different providers. And where we're really going to see the growth over the next 3 years is going into retail, into the rehab market, and into the armed forces and law enforcement. I have a great team I put together. Myself, I've been in marketing for over 20 years. Joe McMillan, he's our operations officer. He has a background in hospital operations. Karen Leaker has a background in marketing and strategic marketing. Ray has a background in analytics and running our logistics. Myron Flowers is our performance coach that has trained many of the top NFL players that you would know. Alice Kleinman is a background is in sales and e-commerce management, along with our influencer programs. And Zach has a sales background, customer service, and runs our distribution through our drop shippers. Currently, we are raising $2 million. Our use of funds is pretty easy. Inventory, additional human capital, and expanding our growth markets so we can hit those revenue numbers that we want to hit. Again, my name is Irrvrnt Modern, founder and CEO of AGOGIE, and I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, come join the resistance.
Awesome. Great presentation, Aaron. Aaron, you should be able to turn on your mic. Victoria, same. And other judges, please do raise your hands if you have questions. And again, audience, if you have questions, you can type them in and I'll ask on your behalf. So we'll go Victoria, then Michael. Victoria and Aaron, your mics are on.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, Victoria. Victoria, I actually don't hear you for some reason. Do you hear her, Aaron? No, right?
No, I do not.
Victoria, I'm going to bring you off and on, and let's see if that does the trick. Michael, if you can turn on your mic, you could lead. Oh, Michael, you're on. No, I don't hear him either. That's odd. Victoria, is your... Aaron, you don't hear them, do you, Aaron, or is it just me?
No, I don't hear him at all.
That's odd. Okay, one sec. Try bringing them off stage. Bring off stage. And then... Aaron, I'm going to bring you off. Aaron, I'm going to bring you off also and bring you back. Okay, one sec.
Okay.
All right, Aaron's back on. I hear you, Aaron.
Mic check.
Yep, I hear you. Michael, can you try yours?
Can you hear me?
Michael, let me know if you can. Yep. Michael, can you try to say something?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we hear you now. Yep.
All
okay.
right.
I'll bring you on after. Yep. Go ahead, Michael, then Victoria.
Okay. Really interesting product. Curious. I think I've seen something, perhaps either AGOGIE or something similar. Curious. Is this patentable? Do you have a patent, some sort of IP on it? And then also the increase, I believe, from 2020 to 2021 was close to 3 to 5x or so. Kind of curious why such an increase in sales. Was it increased marketing, just viral? I'm just kind of curious how you're able to experience that kind of growth.
Sure. Yeah, we've filed multiple patents. They are in a pending state. As we all know, patents can be a very long process, but they are filed. We also do have IP around our brand and other things that we have interest in, and those trademarks and patents are also filed in multiple countries around the world. From the increased sales perspective, we were able to get some debt financing that would allowed us to put more effort into our marketing channels, and we were able to nail our marketing very well and increase our sales.
Very cool. Does an investment come with a pair of pants?
Absolutely. You can even.
Excellent. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Awesome. Victoria, let's try your mic again. And other, okay, see, yep, Victoria, you raised your hand. Let's see if your mic works this time. Victoria, I see it red. Try flicking it back on. Victoria, try speaking now. I think you're on. No? Huh. Grant's raising it. You know what, Victoria, question. Maybe for you, because it seems like it's the software bugging out a little bit. Maybe you could drop your question in the chat, and then I can ask it on your behalf, if that's okay, just because I'm not hearing you. Grant, I just put you on. Let's see if your mic works.
Hey, great to meet you.
Hey, Grant.
Super competitive space, obviously. And I think that it's a very impressive accomplishment in its own, just to make some headway here. What is your goal for the business long term? Where do you want this to go? Is it going to be an exit to someone larger in the space, or are you going to try to go build something on your own? What's the plan here?
I believe we will start getting offers within the next 2 years to purchase us. And I think the number will be very enticing and not be able to say no to.
And what would you expect that to be, as long as you're saying that?
hitting our numbers, I think we could exit between 1.5 to 2.5 billion. Pretty significantly.
Great.
Awesome. Audience, additional judges, please either raise your hand or again just ask the question in the chat if you're an audience member, and I can ask it on your behalf. Let's give it a minute. Again, audience, if you have a question, I could always ask on your behalf. If you don't drop it in there. Judges, hand icon in the bottom right. Once, twice, 3 times, sold. All right, Aaron, great job. Appreciate you taking the time, and thanks for the great presentation.
Thanks for having me. Thank you, everyone.
You got it. All right, between pitches, I want to have Michael Lombardi, Brett Andrews, and I'm going to bring Karishma back on in hopes that we can get her mic to work. So again, Michael Lombardi, Karishma, and Brett Andrews. So if you all can try to turn on your mics and do a quick 30-second to 1-minute background for the audience and the startups. Karishma, I think you're on now if you want to try.
Yep. Hey, everyone. As Jason mentioned, I'm Karishma. I currently work as a banker in the fintech space, but angel invest personally, kind of across fintech and consumer companies, and excited to be here.
Thanks, Karishma. Appreciate it. Brett, looks like your mic's on. If you want to go ahead.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, we hear you.
Oh, great. Thanks for having me, Jason. I think I've spoken to a few of you folks in here. It's great to hear from you guys again. Nice to meet anybody who I haven't spoken to here virtually. I work with MicroVentures. We are an investment bank out of Austin, Texas, but we work with, we do a variety of transactions, a mix of late stage secondaries, as well as early stage investments where we do kind of a mix of angel syndicates, and then we've got a Reg CF platform. On the early stage side, we're sort of focused between the pre-seed to Series A. We're at a few direct checks kind of in the pre-seed side of 25 to 50K, and then with regards to the syndicates and Reg CF, targeting a range of about 250K to $1 million. We're industry agnostic. So great to meet everybody, and thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thanks for taking the time, Brett. Really appreciate you. All right, next up, Michael Lombardi. If you want to give the background, we'd love to hear it.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael Lombardi, pleasure to be here. Thanks, Jason, for inviting me.
Thank you.
I'm a full-time operator. Past 15 years, I've been scaling customer success and sales teams, 2 advertising technology companies, 1 pre-revenue to IPO. So I've seen most stages of growth, which has helped me to really partner with founders, both from a capital standpoint, but help them with ICP development, go-to-market, customer intros. Really can help on the fundraising and finding lead investors side of things. I've been personally investing since 2015 under MJ Angel Ventures, about 100 investments across B2B SaaS, future of work, prop tech, ad tech, seed through Series A. Personal check size is anywhere between 10 and 25K. But I partner with other angels and syndicates to raise anywhere between 100 and 500K or so. Really excited to be here, and anybody feel free to reach out to me directly here, LinkedIn, Twitter, pretty available.
Awesome. We actually have a great future of work play. I think you're going to love a few presentations from now. So awesome. All right. Next up, we have Roker. I'm going to go ahead and play the presentation.
Hello, everyone. I'm Sachin Bailey, co-founder and CEO of Roker. I'm super excited to meet you all virtually, and I really appreciate the opportunity to come in front of you all and talk a little bit about what we're doing here at Roker. So let's kick it off with an overview of some of the topics that we will try to cover in today's presentation. Of course, we will not be able to deep dive in these slides, but we'll give an overview. More than happy to pick up some of these pointers during the Q&A session. Let's start with Roker's mission. Roker is an urban mobility and smart parking solution company that is formed to revolutionize parking for cities and major parking asset owners, both large and small. In simple terms, we are innovating smart urban mobility while driving sustainability and affordability for our clients. Well, mobility has powered every major societal evolution in the human history, and today we are at the brink of another major shift in how our society moves. Think about the personal vehicles crowding the urban spaces, along with ride shares, commercial fleets, delivery vehicles, all wanting a space in urban location. Well, the solution starts with the parking space. There are more than a billion parking spaces in the United States that generate around $131 billion in annual revenue. Rocker's goal is to modernize the parking spaces, expand it beyond just parking, connect it with smart city initiatives, ensure that these assets can become the backbone of a $1 trillion marketplace and support more than 1 million jobs domestically. At Rocker, we are taking particular focus in government and business entities who have a need to consume multiple aspects of parking technology that have to date needed provisions from multiple vendors and have had to compromise either on functionality or costs. How we help? In a nutshell, Rocker's parking management solution has two major components. On one side, we have a consumer mobile app that allows users to find and pay for parking and manage parking tickets all from their phone. And on the other side, we have an end-to-end platform for cities that has three major functions: digitize parking and enable dynamic pricing, optimize parking enforcement and compliance, and generate revenue via violation lifecycle management or parking ticket lifecycle management for our customers. In terms of our technology, the urban mobility platform that we have developed is cloud native with a microservices-based architecture designed for modular implementation. Our cutting-edge technology has ensured the user experience is solid, and it also ensures that the costs are down, which results in better revenue. In terms of our strategy, Rocker's go-to-market strategy is multifold. We work with two major partners as resellers of Rocker solution, one in Canada and the other here in the United States. These are large companies who have stable operation, and Rocker's solution complements their existing application, creates a win-win for all. In July 2021, Rocker acquired a Canadian enterprise that has a solid footprint of customers in North America, and that actually helped us in upselling Rocker's technology to our new customers. This has resulted in advanced stages of discussions with over a dozen prospects. In terms of our revenue model, Rocker's revenue model is a blend of subscription and transactional fees, focused on keeping our initial costs low while making money when our client does, allowing our clients of all sizes to have an affordable offering from Rocker. Oh, this is my favorite slide. It's a very exciting time here at Rocker. This slide talks a bit about what our footprint in North America is. So Rocker is growing. We have 20 active customers. We have more than 12, 13 prospective customers who are kind of evaluating Rocker's solution. And we have close to about $2 million in ARR in pipeline. I want to highlight the US Senate, with whom we're sort of directly working with, they're evaluating Rocker's parking solution. It's a quick overview on Rocker's performance. Rocker has a steady growth in the last 6 months. You will notice our quarter endings are always higher than our month endings. We've been able to process more than $2.8 million using our platform. To talk about the financials, Rocker successfully closed more than 136,000 last year. This year, we are focusing on touching close to about $2 million in ARR, and we are forecasting a steady growth in year 2, year 3. By year 5, our projections are to touch about $100 million in revenue. In terms of our capital raise overview, Rocker is seeking to raise $3 million in seed round. We have already successfully raised $1.75 million as safe. Partial funds were used for acquisition of the Canadian enterprise, like I mentioned in my past discussion. This is a quick overview in terms of what the competition landscape looks like. There's a lot of traction right now in the parking industry. We see Flash Parking, Park Hub, Passport, all raising money in the last 3 months. Flash Parking did a significant raise of $250 million. But objectively comparing our solution with some of the market leaders, we do end-to-end. A lot of these players don't cover the length and breadth of what Roker has sort of developed already on our side. So finally, we are towards the end of the presentation. Our team comprises of key players, our partners, and our investors. So that's a wrap. I hope I was able to provide you all with a sort of a quick overview of Roker. I would like to take this moment to thank everyone for your time to learn about Roker. We look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Great presentation. Sachin, you should be able to turn on your mic. Jesse as well. Additional judges and audience, please let me know if you'd like to ask a question during the Q&A. Sachin, your mic is on, and Jesse, yours is as well.
Awesome. Thanks, Jason. Sachin, pleasure to meet you, and great presentation. So first question. I think the parking app space might be the most crowded space that I've seen.
Correct.
Why do you think you're going to be the winner of the space?
Great question. Thank you for asking. Yeah, one of the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about parking is definitely it's not sexy, and it's crowded space. You're right. But I believe the major innovation we feel is really coming in on finding parking, booking parking. What we are trying to do from our side is, really solve the problem from infrastructure. So our platform kind of focuses on allowing, parking asset owners to kind of modernize their assets, their infrastructure. And so that's sort of one of the USPs, I would say, for Roker. And I think that creates a solid segue to sort of go out and kind of market your own place, which differentiates us from a lot of the others.
Great, thank you. And what's the current ARR on those 20 customers, and what's the valuation on the 3 million raise?
So the current ARR is close to about $500,000. And but again, some of the conversations that we're having, pretty much in this month, we're hoping to close another close to about 100,000 in ARR. The valuation that we have on the 3 million is 20 million post money. And yeah, we're in discussion with a lot of potential investors. Very hopeful to complete this round in the next maybe couple of months.
Great, thank you. That's it for me.
Thanks, Jesse. Any additional judges have questions for Sachin? Please do raise your hand on the bottom right with the hand icon. And again, audience, if you have questions, I'm happy to answer on your behalf. Ask your questions on your behalf. Let's give it another minute. All right. Anybody? Any questions? Audience? Judges? Yes, no, maybe? Okay. All right. Once, twice, 3 times. Done. Okay. All right, Sachin, thank you so much. Appreciate the presentation. Excited about what you're building, and I know the future is very bright, so excited for you guys.
Sure thing.
Thanks, Sachin. Okay, so next up, before we go into the next presentations, I want to have Jesse come back on stage so he can give his background, as well as Grant from Irrvrnt Ventures. So I'm going to bring both of you on so you can give your 30-second to 1-minute background. Go ahead, Jesse.
Great. Thank you once again, Jason. So went to University of Michigan, graduated about 5 years ago. When I graduated, my father and I started a family office, which is now called Lebenthal Ventures. We're industry agnostic. We've made 18 investments since we first started. We're typically pre-Series A, so looking for valuations that are between 5 and 15. And we like investing in companies that are post-revenue, and ideally we look for companies that are 10-to-1 valuation to revenue. Lastly, our check size is anywhere between 100 to 150.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse.
You got it.
Go ahead, Grant.
Yep, Grant Irrvrnt from Irrvrnt Ventures. Funny enough, Jesse and I have somewhat parallel story. I did entrepreneurship in college, started a company that I sold to CBS, and then After that, started investing with my father as well through Irrvrnt Ventures, also with the last name. So you can hear these back to back and kind of remember somewhat similar story. And we actually have bet a similar check size, about 100 to 200K, and done 30 deals, pretty much the same stage as Jesse.
Awesome. That was easy. Thanks, Grant.
Yep.
I appreciate you. All right. Next up, we have Daniel Rosenzweig from Kettle Space. That's actually the future work deal that I mentioned earlier to Michael. So excited to see this one. So I'll go ahead and play the Kettle Space presentation.
Hi, my name is Dan Rosenzweig, and I'm a founder here at Kettle. At Kettle, our job is to make you smarter. So we built a tool, our flagship product called Kettle OS. And what it does is it helps you and your team get back on the same page in a hybrid world. Why is it important? Well, 90% of companies today are going hybrid. What does that mean? Hybrid is when part of the work you do is in an office setting or in person, right? And the other part of the work that people do is asynchronous, remote, et cetera, right? Why are they doing that? Well, because 49% of of talent, right, of employees today said they'll quit their jobs if they're forced to go back 5 days a week. So employers are scrambling to figure out a solution. 70% of them have nothing to help implement a hybrid schedule. And so what we do here at Kettle, we make coordinating hybrid teams really, really simple. Rather than talk about the product, I'm going to go ahead and show it to you. So bear with me 1 second. I'll go ahead and get my screen up here. All right, so now you can see the Kettle home screen. What it does is it makes it really easy across an organization to know where people are. Why is that important? Well, some tasks require in person, right? They're better done in person. We would have done them in person if not for the pandemic, and now we have the opportunity to do them in person again. So with our My Teams feature, it's a smart tool that connects to your calendar, whether you're on Google G Suite or not, on Outlook, doesn't matter. And it makes it very clear where people are working from any given day, right? So if I want to know if the executive team is going to be in the office tomorrow, I just toggle to tomorrow. And now I can see everyone's planning to be in the office, right? So if I have a meeting with the CEO and I want to know if I can do it in person, this makes that very easy, right? So I can then go see my CEO, see his calendar, right? Plan a meeting in a conference room. All of it can happen here. And you are now in the know of exactly when you can meet with this person, right? Reserve the space, meeting sent. It also makes sure that other people can't reserve that space during that period of time, right? Useful. If, for example, you want to change your plans, right? I'm saying I'm planning to be in the office tomorrow, but now I have a doctor's appointment and I'm planning to work from home. I just changed it. That is now broadcast throughout the entire organization, so everyone can quickly see that I'm not planning to be in the office tomorrow, right? So if I had in-person meetings, I can move them to Zoom, et cetera. The goal here is that today, all of this is a bunch of conversations or text messages or Slacks, and it doesn't need to be, right? It really can all happen very quickly by you just telling the world what your plans are, and other people can understand it. So there's no more mental chess around who's working where when, right? So our aim is to do for where what your calendar currently does for when. All that data then goes to live in an admin tool, which can help you as an organization understand your space needs better, right? So you can add different locations. Some can be offices. They don't have to be. They can be coffee shops that people like meeting in person. Could be a park, doesn't really matter, right? The goal here is just to say some stuff is better done in person, and we want to make it easy for people to coordinate the where of that element. You can create different work groups across different cities for different organizations. You can see the types of spaces that they consume. You can also change the schedule of where people plan to be, right? So if your executive team decides they no longer, whether you want to go top down here to tell everyone where to be, and you want to go 4 days in office and 1 day remote, fine. You don't have to have a conversation about it. You can literally just change and it will push to everyone's calendars, right? We call that top down. So if you want to see what a live environment looks like, this is one for one of our larger clients. So the proof's in the pudding. After launching in Q4, we already have 10 signed deals, and our clients include NYU, Triple Mint, Meetup, and we have 250,000 in ARR. How do we price? It's $5 per person per month, which is compared to the cost of an office, super inexpensive, right? So $60 per person per year, very, very cheap. We're already backed by several venture funds, including Drumbeat Ventures, Dream Adventures, Rainfall Ventures, one of the founders of Open Table, and we'd love for you to join the crew as well. We're raising $1 million, which is going to get us to $1 million in ARR. At that point, we can either pick our own destiny and decide to continue to raise capital or to just be profitable at that point. But it's an exciting place to be. We're having a real impact on everyday employees, and we're making everyone a little bit smarter, and we're saving them time and mental energy. So if you want to get involved, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, I'm Dan at kettlespace.com. Talk soon.
Great presentation, Daniel. All right, judges, please raise your hands or let me know in the chat if you have questions for Daniel. Oh, I got Jesse and I have Moshi. Let me bring you both on. Jesse, you're on stage. Moshi, you can go next. And additional judges, please do raise your hands. Go ahead, Jesse. Yep.
Thanks, Jason. Quick question. Do you integrate with Outlook? Because I know Outlook, I mean, definitely with room reservations, has similar functionality.
Yeah, absolutely. So we integrate with Google Calendar as well as Outlook. Goal being we read calendars and we push to calendars. So that you can, create an event, whether it's created in Outlook or it's created in our system. They speak to one another very fluidly.
Got it. Thank you.
Awesome. Moshi, go ahead.
Yes, hi. Great presentations. 2 quick questions. One, what does it take someone else in the space just to do what you do? And second, what's valuation?
I'm sorry. So what would it take someone to do what we do that's also in the space? Well, I think first they would have to redesign their entire system, right? So if you're in front of a computer, right, you can pull up a bunch of other calendars and potentially coordinate with other people. But the mobile apps for most calendars that I'm familiar with are pretty good for understanding your own schedule. Very bad for understanding other people's schedules, right? So in a world where we're not sitting in front of our computers all day long, but we still have to work, the ability to do this stuff on the fly and know where people are makes this stuff much simpler. And then from a valuation standpoint, we're raising $1 million at an 8 pre.
Cool. So Slack doesn't have something like that? You can't see where it is?
So Slack, you can see where someone is in this moment, but not into the future, right? So if you're planning, you're normally not planning what I'm doing today. You're planning what you're doing tomorrow or the next day or next week or next year. And so I think it's kind of like looking at the universe through a straw, right? It's useful, but not necessarily giving you the whole picture, right? So our goal is very simply to give you all the visibility you need across an organization, across teams, across geographies, so that you can be on the same page as the people that you're looking for.
So do you think people feel comfortable? The boss can see wherever they're going to be, wherever they're doing?
Well, they broadcast that information of where they're working, and it's binary, right? I'm in the office, and if they have an office in that city, that's great. Or it's working from home, or it's working from a co-working space, etc. So again, we don't use tracking. We're not like following people around. We're not Big Brother at all. But we are a useful tool for building visibility within an organization, so that people don't have to ask each other questions and waste time having conversations that they might not need to if we were just to simply broadcast where we're planning to work.
Really cool. Congrats.
Thank you.
Awesome. Great questions, Moshi. I got a question from the audience. I'll ask. This is from Matt Stable. He said, are you targeting specific geographic areas, in parentheses NYC, with further plans to expand?
So we actually operate in 6 cities already. The good news about being software is that we can deploy basically in any city in the United States. That our servers, we use AWS here domestically. So right now we're doing all our stuff here domestically. Our largest client being NYU. We do have a strong geo presence in New York, but that said, we also operate in Atlanta, DC, and Boston at this point. Wherever any of our clients have an office, we can deploy pretty much instantaneously, depending on if they need booking or they simply want our team's product. And there are some additional features I could go into, but for right now, that's where the split tends to be.
Awesome. David, you had a question? You should be able to turn on your mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, good. Check. Good.
Yep, you're in.
Awesome, Prizo. So, as a big fan of hating calendars, I'm pretty stoked about what you guys are doing. I got a quick question. Ken, on the what's it take to actually to bring it into an organization? What I'm curious about is, is there a bottom up kind of a viral adoption opportunity for employees to start using it?
Completely.
Okay.
So what we've done, instead of needing a top down, like the entire org needs to sign up for a thing, what we started doing is actually like just piloting with individual teams, right? Where some enthusiastic person will say, hey, I'm on the marketing team. There's 6 of us. And I don't want to have to keep asking everyone what their plans are next week, right? So we have, at this point, 15 pilots going right now, several of which are larger organizations, but we're just working with one subset of one team. And the goal, again, is, not saying we're like BlackBerry, but I think they did a nice job originally of getting the technology in people's hands, and then it sort of expanding sort of in a bottoms-up way. And I think they're similar. The better part is we're not hardware, we're software, so we can scale even more quickly.
Great. And then just one follow-up question more on the tech side of things. So the calendar integrations, Outlook, Exchange, Google Calendars, CalDAV.
So right now it's not the last one you mentioned, not yet. But we do have Outlook, Exchange, and G Suite at this point.
Got it. Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Daniel, great presentation. Really appreciate you taking the time. Awesome job.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. David, I'm actually going to keep you on stage so you can give your background, and I'm also going to add Adam from Capital Innovators and Andrew from Irrvrnt VC. So David, if you want to go ahead. Damn, I think your camera just turned on somehow. Shut that off. Yep. Okay. David, you're able to turn your mic back on? Go ahead.
Yep, I'm back on. Great. Thanks so much. So I'm David Duccini, founder and CEO of Silicon Prairie Capital Partners. Actually part of a holding company of a financial technology suite centered around helping other businesses raise capital at scale. So we have an investment banking arm, a funding portal arm, a transfer agency, and then we have a technology platform that is used under a white label by a number of angel groups around the country. We do invest out of our own funds. We'd like to see if our founders can convert social capital into financial capital before we write the check. But fundamentally, we are industry agnostic. We've helped everything from Main Street breweries to independent films, fintech startups, etc., raise capital at scale.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Really appreciate you taking the time. Adam, I think your mic's on, and we'll jump to Andrew.
Great. Thank you, Jason. Hi, everyone. My name is Adam Jennerstack. I'm with Capital Innovators. We're a St. Louis-based venture capital firm and accelerator. Our accelerator invests at the early seed stage, and we also have a separate venture portfolio that invests at Series A. Our sector focus is primarily tech and software and consumer goods. We're location agnostic. We have over 150 plus companies in our portfolio. It's nice to meet everyone and great presentations so far. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Adam. Andrew, go ahead. You're on.
Thanks, Jason, for having me.
Andrew, I think your mic's on.
I'm Andrew Gluck, founder, solo GP of Irrvrnt VC. Irrvrnt VC is an early stage fund, $10 million fund focused on early stage D2C, ad tech, next gen commerce, anything in and around e-com, brands, tools, technologies that help e-com operators, marketplaces, platforms. We write 300 to 500K checks into pre-seed through seed plus, anything sub $15 million pre-money valuation.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Andrew. Appreciate you. All right. So final presentation of the evening, we have Juan Geraldo from Waku. So go ahead and play the last video of the evening, and then we'll wrap up with that final Q&A.
Hello, everybody. My name is Juan Geraldo, co-founder and CEO of Waku, a healthy beverage company where we make deliciously replenishing herbal teas with prebiotic powers and 0 grams of added sugar. My co-founder and I are both Ecuadorian, and the main thing that brought us together is this deep desire to have a positive socioeconomic impact in Ecuador. And that's why our why is to replenish the world with time-tested knowledge and homegrown flavors of Ecuador, driving economic growth in our home country by sourcing our ingredients ethically from smallholder farmers. We analyzed different categories when we were getting into the business, and we learned about a massive problem in a massive category. And this problem is that ready-to-drink consumers are looking for healthier options, low in sugar and calories, but most leading brands in the $7 billion ready-to-drink tea category focus on flavor alone, loading their products with sugar, empty carbs, and artificial ingredients. Our solution is that we put a modern twist on an ancient tea. We use a centuries-old Ecuadorian recipe, the finest natural ingredients, zero added sugar, and prebiotic fiber to maximize the gut healthy benefits. We are plant-based, non-GMO, vegan, and we never add sugar cane. We're very different in this category. We don't add any sugar. We have very low calories compared to the rest of products, low net carbs, and we're the only product in the category that has prebiotic fiber, and it's focused on a big macro trend in the consumer world that is gut health. We use only the best quality natural ingredients. So we were able to create a zero added sugar, low calorie product without sacrificing taste. We launched as a direct to consumer business. We've been growing aggressively for the past year. We almost doubled our business from 2020 to 2021, and now we're on the middle of almost quadrupling our sales for 2022. We have more than 4,000 customers, more than 15,000 people in our digital community, more than 730 reviews in Amazon on our website, and our email list keeps growing, more than 16,000 people. We're acquiring customers at less than $30, and 42% of our revenue comes from repeat customers, which tells a lot about how well received is our product between consumers. This slide shows how we are continuously improving our value proposition, and the key lessons learned that have been around marketing and positioning, how we simplified our positioning statement and anchored our messaging around gut health functionality around prebiotic fiber. This is the growth plan. Again, as we told you, we're growing to 1 million in sales this year and improving our margins. Most of the growth still comes from Amazon and direct to consumer. Next year, we're going to hit 3 million in sales, improving our margin to 41%. And the growth will mostly come from the launch in retail through the natural channel, Whole Foods, Sprouts of the world. There is a massive market opportunity and white space for this category. We project that the addressable retail market for a product like ours is 120 million plus if you touch the multiple classes of trade. This is the team. Myself, I have a Babson MBA. This is my third company, and I have 11 years leading high-performing teams. And my co-founder, Nico, he's a second-time entrepreneur, has more than 5 years building brands in digital marketing. He's a former professional athlete. And we have a fully built marketing team of 4 people. And even though we're a small team, we're backed by industry giants, such as, for example, James McCann, former CEO of Ahold USA, or Rami Leshim, former VP of Sales at Kind, that was acquired by Mars in a $5 billion deal. We're also backed by some industry funds. Even though this is the story and the execution plan of today, we do think big, and here's our vision. We're expanding into different categories under the umbrella brand of Waku, with ready-to-drink herbal teas right now, and then ready-to-drink sparkling prebiotic teas, wellness shots, powder mixes, and herbal tea bags. All within our 4 tenets as a brand: flavors that shine, the purest ingredients, maximized for gut health, and made with integrity in Ecuador. The goal is to positively impact 1 million farmers in Ecuador in the next 5 years. Here's the ask. We're raising 1.5 million. We have already 500K of these 1.5 million round already committed. And the use of funds is 40% marketing, 30% working capital, and 30% key hires. Key milestones are to launch in retail, Whole Foods and Wegmans, grow and optimize our e-com channel, and get to that 3 million in sales that we mentioned before. Thank you so much, and we look forward to getting.
Awesome. All right, judges, please raise your hands if you have questions for Juan. Audience, again, I'm happy to ask questions on your behalf. Go ahead and drop them in the chat if you do have questions. Audience, judges, anything for Juan? Oh, David, let me bring you on. Juan, are you able to turn on your mic? It should be available in the top right. Juan, you're on, and David, your mic should be available as well.
Yep, I'm here.
Yep, go ahead.
Awesome, thanks so much. Yeah, really appreciate the use of funds chart. That is something that most presentations should have. So appreciate that. So just real quick, just a question on the shelf stability. What's the lifespan in terms of the product without obviously preservatives, etc.
Yep. So our product is shelf stable, and our shelf life is 18 months.
Okay, impressive. Thank you.
Great.
Awesome. So Jesse is asking, sorry if I missed this, but what are the margins on the product through the online channel?
Yep. So right now we stand at 35% gross margin, and when I'm talking about gross margin, this is including COGS and fulfillment costs. So that's net what it contributes to our P&L, and we're expecting that next year, with our efficiencies in our supply chain because of the augmented volume, we'll be able to get to 41% gross margin.
Excellent. Additional judges, questions? You got it, Jesse. Anytime. Any other judges and/or audience have questions for Juan? Let's give it another minute. All right. Anybody else? Judges, audience, again, feel free to drop it in the chat. Once, twice, 3 times. All right. Thank you, Juan. Really appreciate it. Great presentation, and love what you're building, man. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, Jason. Take care.
You got it. Absolutely. All right. So I'd like to say thank you to everyone who took the time out of their busy schedules to be part of the event. We hope you enjoyed it. In terms of follow-up, we'll be sending out the webinar recording to everyone after we receive it from our software provider. We'll be giving the judges the full contact information of the startups and their fellow judges on Monday, so they can follow up with any deals that they're interested in, and so that the judges can network among each other. Our next event is our May Virtual Investor Night. And just, thank you again for taking the time tonight, and we hope to see you at the next StrtupBoost event. Thank you.